This the person that wrote this and drew this one also drew Frieza. So I was hoping Brandon would be here because he recommended
He
this.
said he would be. Yeah, he was like playing game lessons or something.
Oh, I just got a message from him saying I need to ride this weekend.
Oh yeah.
No, he's gone.
Who's gonna leave and like doesn't he look like right now?
Go out. We could wait to discuss the
I
manga.
feel like we have a better discussion because
No, he's
Or he's gonna make
what?
I could go right now.
Then we're just gonna sit and wait for awkwardly.
You could discuss the manga that I just brought. You could go look it up online and read it right now.
Continue the discussion. They just spoil it anyway, probably.
He lied. Well, I think that when they
So should one of us lead?
Silence! Go ahead.
I thought that it was very predictable when the sister said she would make a contract that their points would be split in half. I found that very predictable, but I don't know if everyone else thought that. But to me, that just seemed like it would be the normal thing to happen, especially since there was two bracelets linked together.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the
He's
thing.
like super confused about it.
That's the thing about manga these days. You know, it's always brother sister teams. Oops.
Well, and then the other thing was, I think that the exposition of the story is really kind of blatant because I think at one point his classmate who ends up being a taker tells him, you know, if you see something on the street, don't pick it up because it's an evil weapon that's going to get you killed and then it's going to be a bottom to your soul.
Oh, his classmate who looks like Asuka from Evangelion or something.
That's like your reference.
No,
when
I
you
could've-
see a female character in a manga,
What
it's
is
either
he-
Asuka, it's Rei, or it's that other one. What's the other one?
There are a bunch of them.
No, but there's Asuka, Rei. Oh yeah, I guess Shinji's a guy. But
They did introduce a new Evangelion pilot in the
Yeah, they did.
movies.
Yeah, they did.
they did.
They don't.
Is he a boy?
No.
No, it's a girl, Mari. She's the glasses girl, apparently.
Oh yeah, Maori, that's right.
Oh, see,
Anyway.
okay, we're getting off topic.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I could just imagine this evil character, this evil classmate girl, being voiced by Tiffany Krantz or something.
Yeah.
I don't know voice actors, so.
Okay.
But
Well,
alright, so I guess should we summarize the story a little bit?
If you wish.
Okay.
You
So
always ask that.
did I already ask that?
No, you always do though.
Oh, okay. So it revolves around two characters. Both are high school students. One is kind of an older. The older sibling is a girl. I don't think they're actually related. I'm not sure, but
I thought they were.
so that opens a whole wide
Well,
range of
that's
opportunities.
yeah, exactly. Because
kind of creepy.
it's a pervy series, and I feel like
Something wrong is
having
gonna
them
happen.
be blood related would kind of get in the way of the perviness.
We can't have that.
Exactly.
Nothing can weigh the burdens of the family.
Exactly. Exactly. So, anyways, there's an older female, One-chan, who's what the younger brother calls her. I'm just gonna say brother and sister. I'm not sure if they are related. So,
It seems. I thought they were.
okay.
We can assume
So,
they are.
anyways, he picks up a pair of like intertwined bracelets, I believe, and he gets stabbed by a thief that was stealing someone's purse, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he woke up. He woke up and he was fine, and he had the two bracelets on his wrist. So basically, you find out that he has become a taker, and he has numbers on his chest which signify how long he has to live. And there's only two ways to replenish those numbers. One is to kill other takers, and the other are to kill angels during full moons or something like that. You can only do it once a month. So, in the first chapter or so, I believe, he finds another taker Okay, another point is when you first become a taker, your number also is correlated with your strength. So if you have a low number, you're not as strong. So he has the number 10, which is fairly low for most takers. So and takers can sense other takers once they get to a certain level. So he's like a noob that everybody wants to kill. And one of his classmates ends up being a taker and tries to kill him, but his older sister comes and saves him, but before she is able to save him, she has to become a taker herself by killing herself with one of the bracelets, which turns into a dagger. So now they each have a bracelet, which is like what Sarah was saying. So it basically just revolves around them figuring out how they're going to survive in this world, and other things happen. But yeah, so that's like the basic premise of the story. I don't know, like I kind of felt bad because I posted something on Facebook asking everybody to read, and then it was like really gory, and it was like I usually can handle pervy things, but there's a certain moment in the story when I was just like, I need to put this down for a second.
What was that moment?
Was it chapter
You
3?
explain it in detail.
Okay.
Go in detail, and then the feelings are
Okay,
coming out
so
of you.
after.
And do it slowly.
Okay. do it slowly. Slowly disrobe while you do so.
So, how many parents can interact?
But okay, so at one point, the older sister goes out to get food or something like that after they both become takers. And the other thing is that when she became a taker, instead of becoming her own taker, she became like, they're almost both one taker together. So they both have, instead of him having the number 10, they both have the number 5. So they're even weaker than they were before. And they each only have like one bracelet, just one little dagger. So she goes out to get something to eat, and she's attacked by a different taker. And, it turns out that she ends up like, she's about to unzip his zipper with her teeth, and I was just like,
Okay.
yeah, that was bad.
And then he's sliced in half.
Then he is sliced in half before anything bad happens.
Dinosaurs like that bad, like one they don't show anything.
What?
It's
And
not that they don't show anything, but it's just like,
It's a plot, good enough.
I don't know. It's like,
okay, but from reading,
Yeah.
okay, I read a book one time.
Yeah.
It's not like a perverted book at all, but everyone on Earth goes blind,
Yeah.
and like these people who are more powerful,
Yeah.
they're like asking for, or like demanding sexual favors for like,
I think they made a movie out of that.
yeah, blindness.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
it's
that.
a movie, but like, yeah, so I feel like that sort of thing would actually happen, like under the
That
circumstances.
sort of thing would actually happen, but like I feel like the writer was sitting down and he's like, ooh, how can I make this really hot? Like, I mean, she could have just, when she realized what he wanted, I don't think the first thing you would do if someone was like forcing, or like was trying to sexually assault you would be to disrobe them with your teeth.
Looks like she was missing a hand.
Yeah,
She was.
But she had another hand.
Oh, okay, I never thought about that. So she had the knife in one hand, she had no other hand, so how else was she?
No,
No.
the bracelet was still on.
The
the
bracelet
separate
was
hand.
on the severed hand.
So she had a free hand.
Yeah, she did have a free hand, which still it didn't like it was.
It's
yeah.
only
I found it disturbing,
That's
and
the
I'm not
only way to
easily
do it,
disturbed.
clearly.
So,
Mhm.
that, anyways.
I don't know, in that first chapter,
I know that
she's
feel,
still
bro.
kind of creepy.
Well, I think the other thing is it feels like she's almost a robot because they hint heavily at how her fighting prowess. She's very, very good at fighting, even though she's very low level. And then she also like gets like the kind of creepy killer eyes whenever, like she goes into the zone whenever she's in trouble.
I'd also like to point out that later when they looked on that Taker net site,
Yeah.
Her class is listed as
That's right.
psychopath.
Oh, was it psychopath?
Yeah, yeah.
Coincidence, maybe?
I think not. But yeah. So I think it ended. Okay, so I'm just gonna summarize everything, I guess, because I feel like I need to explain it because I know everybody could read.
Yes.
So they meet another taker who's high level, but this one doesn't try and kill them. He tries to convert them to his side. And what he does, which is different from what other takers do, is once a month when the angels come out, he goes and kills angels to replenish his life force and to level up, as opposed to killing other players. So he teaches them how to do that, and I think that the first volume ends right before they go on their first hunt. So
Yeah, the angels are like just spewing forth. Once the angels are just like spewing forth from the sky.
Yeah.
And then it ends.
Yeah,
But you get a lot more points from killing an angel apparently than
yeah.
a person.
But
And it's more badass. So.
it's more
Duh.
it's also more dangerous.
Yeah.
So it's like if you've ever read Freezing, then you kind of understand the premise of this. It's kind of similar. There are lots of similarities. Like I knew that the guy who wrote Freezing wrote this like before the first chapter was over. I could just feel it.
It's weird that you would write something so similar.
Yeah,
You think
well,
you'd want
it's
to like move on.
Well, it's also because in Freezing, there's also kind of a creepy senpai-ish thing going on as well, and the art styles are very similar. So, yeah, there's that. I'm sorry. What did everybody else think?
I think with you, I don't think they're like real blood-related siblings. Her,
Yeah.
her like connection to him is way too strong.
Me too.
Feels it, yeah.
Well, she is a born psychopath, so.
the thing about her, like what we initially saw in the first few pages of the manga, yeah, you kind of, I kind of got the impression that she's not just psycho. There's something about her that's special. There's more to her than just craziness.
Yeah, like I feel
To
like
seek out her own personal gratification, which is to protect her brother above everything.
Yeah, it's like
that
she's-
is her sole reason for being.
it's like she's programmed to do that. And also, okay, there's another character that shows up and kills other high-level takers. So usually what happens is the takers that are trying to kill low-level takers, the main characters, will show up and they'll fail. And then this other girl will just like show up and just slaughter them.
And finish them off.
Well, she kills them because
Yeah.
they haven't done any damage to the other takers because they're weak as crap. But I feel like it's going to end up like those two are sisters, or like she's what the older sister would be like if she didn't have the little brother to keep her grounded, or if she didn't have a purpose. She'd just go around killing people.
Yeah. That actually
Wait,
makes a
how
lot
far
of
have you read
sense,
into this?
because-
I've read all the way up to the current update and.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Nice, Chris.
But because I forget which chapter it was. I think it was like the end after the scissor dude got killed off. But they were saying something about they were like mirror images.
Yeah.
So that kind of says something about that.
Yeah.
They're starting to
And
something around that.
the character that's helping them, the other taker, he seems like the little brother character if he was older to me. Like I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if like the mother was a scientist and they were like her first pair and they didn't work out, so she made these two or something like that. Or something weird like that. I can see that happening.
That makes sense. That'd be cool. Because in anime, the mother is always some kind of scientist. You know, if she's not in the story, she's somehow responsible for everything happening in the way it is anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they live in a house by themselves.
Apparently that's legal.
It's legal, and they live like in
That's
a
legal in
pretty
every
nice
other
house in
anime.
Japan.
I know.
You know, real estate's a-
And they're both students, so
Yeah, they're both high school students.
So the games are way on business, obviously.
Yeah.
Or something.
Punching shuffle. Explain how that works.
I
I enjoyed it enough to actually read past it, so I guess I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll probably be reading it too.
Yeah, yeah. What did you guys think about the violence though? Was it too violent for anybody?
No way.
Seems like under the right context, this could, like, if the right mood was set,
Yeah.
this could go from action to horror very easily.
Yeah, I think so too.
Pay attention to the weapons these guys are using. So far, we've seen daggers, a giant box cutter knife, a meat cleaver, a pair of scissors. That guy with the suit uses a sword, I think.
Yeah, I think it is a sword.
He has a rapier.
What?
Oh, okay.
Okay. I did like a giant box cutter. I forgot about it.
Yeah, I just realized it was a giant box. Is that an extendable lance? No.
I wonder when they're going to come out with the Freddy Krueger glove.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That was legitimately cool.
Part of it that was kind of freaky at the same time was he was going online.
Yeah.
And he's like on the forums looking at all the people like talking about like, oh yeah, totally killing these guys all over the place, like all these different things about it. And he's like, I'm what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Anywho, what's up?